It is no longer news that the COVID war had caused a lot of damage to the world economy, from what is going on in Sri Lanka to what is going on in Canada and every other part of the world. It is a major world disorder. And now with the raising interest rate, inflation continues to skyrocket. What the COVID war did was unprecedented. The damage it has done cannot be calculated. It killed the life and livelihoods of billions of people. When people lose everything and they have nothing left to lose, they lose it, and they lost everything. Look at all the businesses just in America or even Canada that have gone out of business. Almost all dry cleaners are gone, and the office occupancy rate is at its all-time low. All the businesses that used to depend on commuters are gone. Even as things become more expensive and some businesses are trying to get back on track, statistics show that the worst may still be yet to come. How has this present economy affected you and your family or people you know? Drop your comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep the notifications on. Economic Times reports that the crash is yet to be over. The reason GDP and unemployment are always together is because they feed on each other. When businesses lay off workers, people spend less money, which means businesses make fewer profits and lay off workers. A recession can begin at any point. The last scenario is collapse, which is most likely through a combination of wishful thinking, denial, and delay. We will probably just blunder into a collapse, at which the response would take the form of executive orders and after social unrest, probably some kind of neo-fascism. There is a good reason to believe that we are looking at a potential collapse of confidence in the entire international monetary system. The international monetary system is based on the dollar, so if the dollar goes, the system goes. That is not meant to be a provocative statement. The international monetary system has collapsed 3 times in the past 100 years, in 1914, 1939, and 1971, so this would be the 4th collapse in 100 years, so not that infrequent. And when the monetary system collapses, it's not the end of the world. We don't go all living in caves, or eating canned goods and all that. What happens is the major trading and financial powers get together, they sit down and they recut the deal, what's called the rules of the game. So what we want to think about is that, since we can see the collapse coming, what are the new rules of the game? One of the remarkable things about the global economic order since World War II has been the flexibility of governments in responding to serious crises. From stagflation and the collapse of the Bretton Woods currency regime in the 1970s to the Asian financial crisis in this century, the world's major economies have proven surprisingly adept at finding ways to cooperate to address serious challenges. This time around, that lucky streak may finally break. The current concatenations of problems, the Russia-Ukraine war, inflation, global food and energy shortages, unwinding asset bubbles in the United States, debt crises in developing countries, and the lingering impacts of COVID-19 related shutdowns and supply bottlenecks may be the most serious crisis of them all, not least because the central bank can't print wheat and gasoline. Yet there are few signs of the collective responses that will be needed to meet these challenges. Global cooperation has never been more urgent and seemed less likely. The world's ability to manage crises, transcend disruptions, and restore the trajectory of global growth means that many more countries today have become rich enough to wield influence and demand their interests be considered. Others are pursuing territorial or ideological goals they consider more urgent than immediate economic priorities. As a result, a consensus has become almost impossible to find. The upshot is that in this crisis, the world will be condemned to a series of competing and partial responses rather than again finding a way to come together to address the challenge. Many people have finally given up on the idea of a soft landing and now expect a hard landing. But they still don't get it. The only landing possible is a crash, where everyone on board dies. That's why the government won't even attempt to land and give up its pretend inflation flight. Stay tuned for more updates as the news unfold. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching.